Imagine a graph with two lines climbing a mountain. The first line is green. That line represents your income. At first, it rises slowly. But then, suddenly, it shoots upward into the top 1%. That's the high-income dream. The doctor's salary. The business success story. The career everyone thinks automatically creates wealth. But right beside it, almost touching it, is another line, a red line. That line represents spending. And the terrifying thing about high-income professions isn't that they don't make money. It's that spending rises almost perfectly with income. As income jumps higher, the lifestyle jumps with it. The gap between those lines stays tiny. And your net worth? It lives inside that gap, meaning someone can earn millions and still feel financially trapped. Today, we're breaking down why so many high earners feel broke despite massive salaries. And more importantly, how to escape the trap before it's too late. Most people believe a huge salary automatically creates wealth, but income and wealth are not the same thing. Income is what comes in. Wealth is what stays. And for many high earners, almost nothing stays. Take doctors, for example. Most begin their careers buried under massive debt. So by the time they finally start earning real money, they're already financially behind. And psychologically, that creates pressure. Because while they spent years studying inside hospitals and libraries, their friends were traveling, buying homes, and enjoying life. So when the first huge paycheck finally arrives, the emotional dam breaks. Suddenly, the expensive car feels justified. The luxury apartment feels deserved. The vacations feel earned. And honestly, they do feel earned. That's the dangerous part. Lifestyle inflation usually doesn't come from greed. It comes from relief. People start trying to buy back the years they sacrificed. But the moment spending rises to match income, the trap closes. Then comes the biggest mistake of all. Fixed expenses, huge mortgages, luxury car payments, private schools, monthly obligations, and suddenly, their freedom disappears. Someone making $300,000 a year can still end up living paycheck to paycheck. Because the more expensive your lifestyle becomes, the more trapped you become inside your job. And here's what makes it worse. Stress spending. High-income careers are exhausting. After brutal workdays, people naturally seek comfort. Luxury vacations, expensive food, fancy cars, not because they're irresponsible, but because they're emotionally drained. The spending becomes a coping mechanism, and slowly, the lifestyle itself becomes the prison. Because now, you have to keep working the stressful job just to maintain the expensive life built around it. That's the loop. And breaking it requires something difficult. Delaying lifestyle upgrades. The smartest high earners do something unusual. When their income rises, their spending stays almost the same. Instead of instantly upgrading their lives, they create lifestyle lag, meaning income grows, but the lifestyle grows slowly. That difference between income and spending, that gap becomes freedom. Investments, assets, future security. Now imagine two doctors, both making the exact same salary. Dr. A upgrades everything immediately. Big house, luxury SUV, expensive lifestyle. 10 years later, they're exhausted and financially trapped. Then there's Dr. B. Same income, But instead of inflating the lifestyle, they cap spending early. They continue living below their means. And the money they don't spend gets invested automatically. Year after year, that gap compounds. And eventually, their investments generate enough income to cover their lifestyle completely. That's the crossover point, the moment where work becomes optional. And that is real wealth. Not the car, not the mansion, not the status symbols. Real wealth is freedom, the ability to say no, to walk away from toxic work, to spend time with family, to live without fear. Because the most expensive thing in the world is a lifestyle that forces you to work forever. So remember this, being a high earner doesn't guarantee freedom. It simply gives you a bigger shovel, big enough to build wealth, or big enough to bury yourself. The entire outcome depends on the distance between those two lines, income and spending. Keep the gap wide, and your future changes forever.